talking Harry Kane now, 50 goals for England. Only 3 off now Wayne Rooney's record, which I expect him to absolutely fly past. A penalty last night, Darren Ambrose.
Yep.
Well, probably his best game was a little bit quiet, but there are still people out there that doubt him a little bit. They say that he only scores penalties, he never scores in the big games, only in friendlies.
Yep.
I mean, he has won a World Cup Golden Boot, but then again, obviously the haters will come out there and say, yeah, that was just penalties. How highly do you rate him? I mean, do you think he's one of the best in the world football, and do you think he's England's best ever goal scorer, number 9?
I think so, yeah. I said this on air last night on the Sports Bar with Andy Goldstein. I said, in my era...
Please don't mention that name on this show. Thank you.
In my era, I think he's the best all-round number 9. Now, I'm not classing Wayne Rooney as a number 9 there. In terms of football players, Wayne Rooney is better. He's, for me, probably the best English football player that we've had, Wayne Rooney. So as a number 9, I played with Alan Shearer, and I'd say last year, I think I'd have had Shearer just ahead of Harry Kane, but what he's done since then, I'd have him as number 1. I certainly would. I think he's...
Is that just for England, or is that England, like...
I think all round. I mean, he's going to get to 75, 80 goals, injury-free, of course. If he stays injury-free, he's going to get to 75, 80, at least for me, if you look at for England. And I think he will surpass Alan Shearer's record. I think I worked out if he plays for the next 5 years, he's got to get around 14 goals a season for the next 5 years. That's easily doable. He done that this season when it wasn't his greatest seasons in terms of goals. I think in my era, and I said last night as well, people can talk about Jimmy Greaves, I know, but I never watched him play. Harry Kane is the best number 9 that I've seen play.
All right, where do you guys rate him? How high do you rate him, and where does he rank amongst England greats? I mean, listen, stats don't lie, of course. So I think Harry Kane, as a goal scorer, eventually will pass Wayne Rooney. He's inevitable. He's going to do that.
Yep.
So I think for stats-wise, I think he is the best number 9 that we've got, because he has to be stats-wise. If you talk about all-round player, though, I find it really hard to look past Rooney.
Yeah, I
really
agree with
do.
you. I agree with you. Rooney was unbelievable, and what he'd done towards the back end of his career when he dropped to a deeper role. I think Harry Kane could do that eventually. I think he could drop to a deeper role. You look at Alan Shearer, for instance. I played with Alan Shearer up in Newcastle. He was an out-and-out goal scorer. I mean, what he done for English football, for the Premier League is phenomenal. Remember, he scored a lot more goals in the old First Division as well before the Premier League.
He missed a couple of seasons with big injuries.
Absolutely. So he was fantastic. So I'm splitting hairs really in terms of putting Harry Kane ahead of him. I just think what Harry Kane is doing, he's 77 goals behind him, I think. He'll do that, absolutely. Look, I'll throw it back to you. You're a centre forward. You're in the 100 club, obviously. That's
Thank you.
That's not easy, and we know that. How good is Harry Kane? Like, dropping deep, having the assists, getting involved, and the goals scored. Do you think eventually he will drop deep like Rooney?
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane's technique is incredible. I mean, Rooney, I played with Rooney, and honestly, I've never seen a force like it. I remember playing with him when we was maybe 15, 16, then he broke into the first team, then England as well. I've never seen a force like it. The touch, the power, the vision, the finishing, just his all-round game. At one stage, he was unstoppable.
Yeah.
Kane's done it in a different way, because he's strong. He's not the quickest, whereas Rooney was very powerful. His passing's exceptional, but his finishing, Kane's, is all my left, right, and it doesn't matter where he is. I mean, take the goal against Arsenal, for instance, the one where he's at the side of the box and he whips into that far corner and he rips the face mask off. Some of his finishing, left and right, that I've never seen anything like. And a lot of people, when you talk about natural finishers in Premier League history, you go to the likes of Ian Wright, Robbie Fowler, people would say I think he's right up there with him. I really do, Harry Kane. I think he's got the absolute lot.
If you're looking at him in terms of a coach's eyes, for instance, would you look at him and think he's got any flaws at all? I mean, this season, 17 goals in the Premier League after a poor start. What could you say is his flaws?
The only thing you'd probably say about Kane is that he's not the quickest. So I think if you're a defender, a centre-half, and you're quick, you just push up to the halfway line. But then I guess when you do that, when you've got someone who's as intelligent as he is, if he's got two greyhounds next to him, the likes of Son when he's at Spurs, Kulusevski, or Sterling for England, these guys that have got a lot of pace, it's quite hard. It's hard to play that high line because they'll get in behind their intelligent guys. But I think if he's up there on his own, he's isolated, that's what I would do. I'd push up as high as I can, because he's never going to run you.
If you look at him then, now, if you look at the England formation, for instance, and we had the message come in earlier of Harry Kane behind Tammy Abraham, do you think this is something that Gareth could experiment? He's 28. You think he's too young to be dropping deep at the moment, but he loves to do that. Jarrod Bowen, Sterling, whoever it may be, pace, Saka going in behind, Tammy Abraham in front of him. I think that's something we'll eventually see.
I hope we see something that's just different. I think we can't be so one-dimensional. We understand, and no one's ever saying that Kane's not our best goal scorer, because he is. But we're also saying as well, we need to find other ways that if he's having a quiet period or if he's having an injury, England need to find a way of coping without him. But as I said, 50 goals for him is absolutely incredible.